Welcome to the Love Rekindled show, where real stories, heartfelt advice, and expert guidance come together to help you create richer, more meaningful relationships. Meet your certified relationship coaches, Margo and Antonio Taylor. Through transformative coaching, informative workshops, and special events, the Love Rekindled community empowers families and couples to grow closer, communicate openly, and embrace the power of love. This is the Love Rekindled show. Let's begin.
Welcome to the Love Rekindled show. Tonight we're talking about something that so many couples are facing every single day. How do you build a successful life without losing your marriage in the process? We live in a culture that celebrates accomplishments, degrees, promotions, businesses, and achievements. We are constantly chasing the next goal, the next opportunity, and the next level. But while we're building careers, raising children, paying bills, pursuing dreams, and creating a future, one question remains. Can we have it all? Tonight, we're sitting down with an incredible couple who have been married for 10 years.
Yes.
Together, they have navigated career, growth, parenthood, changing seasons, and the everyday realities of building a life together. This conversation isn't about perfection. It's about partnership, sacrifice, and growth. And it's about learning how to protect your relationship while building everything around it.
Yes.
So listen, I'm excited about this conversation this evening, and let's talk about it. Welcome, Dr. Christopher Jackson and his
Jackson's
beautiful
in the
wife,
building.
Brittney Jackson. Welcome. We're so excited to have you guys on.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Baby, look at them over. They look like therapists over there. Huh?
Looking good. Okay.
Thank y'all so much for joining us.
We're so excited to have you guys on here. We thought that it was just so important when we learned more about your story, who you guys were, and you know, your beautiful family. We were like, man, we have to share this story, because we do know that what you all have to say will impact so many young families who's building and who's in that growth space. So again, we say welcome.
Welcome. Brittney, I can't wait to jump into it, because a lot of women, they want an already made man. And when you go through that process, I can't wait to jump in it. But I got something for you, Mr. Jackson. After 10 years, good brother, tell me, what do you do to date this woman and keep that smile on her face? I want to hear a little bit of it.
Because the smile is smiling.
Hey, man, let's hear it.
Well, I'll say this, keep it simple. I think a lot of times that, you know, when it comes to dating, and maybe especially like in this day and age, like you have to be grandiose and extravagant, which, I mean, you can, it's fine to do, you know, every now and then, but I do think like knowing what really matters to her.
Yes.
Right.
And I come to find in my experience that it's more so like the small things that actually have the biggest impact. So
actual date night, just a date night. If you had to come up with a date night, what would be your date night for her?
I would actually
after 10 years,
I would actually do something that was kind of like either more nostalgic that reminds her of like why we got together. I've often kind of, you know, mentioned like, you know, like doing some type of picnic or you know, like going somewhere that has a lot of meaning for us. And so I would pretty much kind of set something up like that way. Like I would either do like an indoor picnic or just kind of make like a, I think I did this once before. Like I would make like a charcuterie board or something to that effect.
Yeah.
You know, and we would basically make treats together, like things that we, you know, that kind of kept us going, you know, while we were in the early stages of dating. So it kind of brings back those fond memories. And then at the same time, you know, have like some either like, you know, music to kind of set the tone, things that we enjoy. And then me knowing her, like what her love language is, I would, you know, have like some type of like written notification or, you know, or even verbal affirmation.
See what I did, Chris? I did this intentional. So I need men to understand, a woman just don't get a smile on their face for no reason. And I know that's a romantic, brother. So I just wanted to open up the show the right way. So I appreciate you definitely dropping that.
Listen, I love this for you guys. Picnics, I love thoughtful dates. I think that is just what centers the marriage. It brings you back to what you said, Chris, like, why did we start this? Where did it come? Where did we lock in at? because a lot of times when life be life and you guys are, you have young children and you're growing your family, you know, career changes, you know, things are happening in real time. And when you can always go back to those moments, you know, that bonded you all, those things that make you remember why we started this journey, it's always amazing. So listen, let's go ahead and jump into all the things, because we know that you guys are a growing family. You guys have a lot of, you know, career changes, things that have happened. So let's start with Dr. Jackson. We're going to go ahead and slide down his road. Dr. Jackson, Dr. Jackson.
Congratulations to you too.
Congratulations. And so what we all know is that the pursuit of your doctorate is not for the weak. A lot happens. A lot of sacrifices have to be made. You know, your wife and children have to rally around you, your family support, your wife praying, you know, just being there to hear the good, the bad, the ugly news, you know, the baby, I'm tired. How has this journey been for you, Chris, with just navigating this space with your family?
Well, to be honest with you, it's been exhausting, but very rewarding now at the same time. I guess I could, and this is something I got from my dad. He told me that I would basically kind of have an experience like Joseph did in the Bible, where, you know, he went through a lot of different challenges and setbacks where it seemed like, you know, he was on the rise and then he would fall short and then there'll be another waiting period. And then at the very end, that's when God will lift him up. So I would have to say I've had my own version of that. So it's been very, very humbling, but also very rewarding.
Give us a little bit, like, because I know the story. Just give them a little bit of where you started and where you at right now, because I think it's amazing just to see your process. And don't be humble right now, because you have worked hard, brother. I just really, this opportunity, I think is very important, because somebody is sitting in your shoes right now and they don't have hope. So I just love you just let them know what it's like to go from A to Z.
So let me put this disclaimer out there. It's because I've been in this this position for a while. It's kind of hard not to be humble. It's kind of became my default mode now.
Understood.
So I'm learning how to kind of, I won't say be arrogant, but just like show a little bit more appreciation, because, you know, now that God's moving me into a new season, I'm learning how to, you know, level
up is what they call it these days.
So but it's not a seamless transition as it can be.
Oh, absolutely.
But just to answer your question, Tony. So my journey, it basically started about at the age of 10. My father, he basically had uncontrolled diabetes.
Okay,
and so after seeing him make lifestyle changes, my 10-year-old self was saying, hey, if I knew what was wrong with my dad, I could fix him.
Wow.
So that sparked my interest in biology, which morphed into like medical science, which basically kind of morphed into like this journey to become a doctor.
Love it, brother.
And so along that journey, it's been a lot of, I guess, checkpoints and balances that I did not know I would have to go through. And I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have any guidance. No one in my family has, you know, went on this journey. I didn't really have people I could call on. So I really forged my own path here.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you. And then now that I'm to this point here, I look back and it really just kind of makes me think like, wow, like there was a lot of things I wish I knew along the way that could have helped me.
Right.
I could have avoided some challenges, you know, had I had more information. But to get from like A to Z, it definitely takes determination, because there are going to be a lot of reasons to make you rethink your choice. A lot easier decisions. But one thing that kept me on this path was that even if I went with an alternative route, that desire still would have been
burning
my belly. So it wouldn't have went away. So I'm like, let me go ahead and just, you know, stay focused, hunker down, and finish what I started.
Good.
And so now that I'm...
Tell them how you finished. Let's hear it.
So basically I finished. Let me say this. I finished, but it was not a one-man race. So that.
Absolutely.
When I started out, it felt that way because I didn't really know what to do. But along the journey, I see where God moved people in my pathway who would kind of just give me enough to get to the next level. And I think I shared it with, I think one time with you, Antonio. I play football, I play sports. So our coaches would always say, you know, just get the first down.
That's it.
So for those
keep moving the chains.
Yeah. So like for right. So for my fellas, you know, like we know what that means. But you know, for our ladies, basically, that means like whatever you need to do to get to your next step, then do that. So eventually you will achieve the goal or score. In a sense. So that's the mentality that I've had. And so in order to do that, I have to tell myself, you know, get the small wins,
right,
and then eventually you'll get to the big ones. And so that's really been monumental. It's like how I've been able to gradually get to where I am in a stepwise approach. Yeah,
I just want to tell you, as your older brother, I am proud of you. I really am. Like that. You know, just the time we had to talk, I'm really proud of you, and I'm excited for what's in the future for you.
Yes. And so, Brittney, what was this like for you? Because I think, you know, a lot of times we can conceptualize going to school to be a doctor. Is just like, I couldn't imagine the hours, the dedication, the sacrifice, the study, and all the things. But when I think about you as a wife, the sacrifices, you know, your husband's always studying, always gone, always disconnected because he's working towards this big goal, big accomplishment. What was that like for you?
I just want to say that I did not sign up for this. No, I'm joking, but not really. I didn't. This was not what I expected in getting married. I married Chris because of who he was, who God showed me he was through him, how he stood out amongst, you know, a lot of frogs as a prince. I don't think we talked a lot about what he wanted to achieve as a career. We weren't prepared for as many setbacks as came along on his journey. So just like he didn't know what to expect and didn't have a mentor to go through a doctoral journey, I didn't have that either. Absolutely. To be a wife to someone who was going through that journey. Lots of sacrifices. The biggest one I can think of the most was that it always felt like my dreams were on hold.
I could imagine.
Because in medical school, they can't work. They can't have like side. There's no time. There's no. I could only imagine. You know, there's rules against, you know, having side hustles and things of that nature. And so, excuse me, I had to work in a field that I was really wanting to transition out of. I was an educator for 15 years. I taught elementary and middle school throughout that time frame. And boy, did I want to get out the classroom so bad. But we needed the stability, and my career path required, number one, going back to school. Number two, I also would have to go through, similarly to residency, I would have to go through like a training before I became a licensed therapist. Right. We both can't be out here not working.
That ain't gonna work.
So that was the biggest sacrifice. And I was an amazing teacher. I always had really great work environments. It just was not. I think it was a step to my overall calling. Right. And so to kind of feel like your calling or your pathway to your calling has been paused or on hold, not because of something you're doing, but because of something, you know, God is calling you to support someone else through. That was a major challenge for sure in our relationship. And we will openly discuss that. Just being someone who is a go-getter, Margo, you know, I'm always doing something. Yes. I'm always building something. So a lot of the time supporting him was also spent like trying to figure out what can I do for me so I don't lose my mind. Yes. And I think that that's okay. It's okay to say like, I didn't sign up to solely support someone else's dreams. I have to make sure that, you know, I'm still pursuing my own.
Absolutely.
And that's a good point. How did you balance?
Talk about
and I want to know, how did you really balance that? Because you're pretty much the legs for the table. You're holding up the table. How did you balance? How did you balance your personal goals? How did you do that?
I'm just someone who just does it. I really can't tell you, other than God giving me capacity and strength, or just saying, go ahead, child, you ain't gonna listen to me no way. I just would do things that I felt good about. I was already published as an author, so I continued to write. I supported other authors with publishing their works through my agency at the time. I started school. I think I started my master's program the same year Chris started med school. Yeah. So I was going through my master's program. It was completely virtual and online.
For both of you all to be in school?
I don't know what the conversation was like. What was the conversation like?
There was none. We are both in front of computers.
I know, because you're talking, I'm visualizing like, whoa, Brittney, wait. Yeah. Both of y'all,
we started at the same time. I just realized that. I started in 2017. He started medical school in 2017.
Wow.
And so my program was completely virtual.
Okay.
I was able to still work full time. I was teaching, and I would work all day and then come home and, you know, do my coursework. There were moments where I would have to like leave because we had in-person residencies and things of that nature that were required. But for the most part, it was work. We spent our time together, especially in those earlier stages of pursuing our careers. We would be at the table eating dinner, computers, in bed, watching, like TV might be on, but we're both like on computers. And if I'm being honest, that's kind of still our cadence. So we have had to be very intentional, like you were saying, about like connecting. And I'm sure we'll get here, but a therapist supported us in making sure we were able to do that.
Because I was, listen,
because I'm still wondering like how y'all doing.
Yeah, so we're definitely coming down. So Brittney, now that, you know, because I felt like it was just important after us hearing Chris, just really just hearing, because that's the next thought, like what this was like for his wife.
Correct.
And the challenges, and how did you all endure? So I want to go ahead, let's go on and dive into this thing. So you guys are in a space where you both are in pursuit of your careers. You know, what is it that we want to do next? How was communication with talking about those things that made you all feel overwhelmed, or really like there's not enough hours in a day? How were you guys able to really just have those conversations and those moments to say, hey, listen, we need to connect. We need to pull our communication back in? Because I could imagine with both of you guys working on computers, there could easily be a disconnect.
Absolutely.
How did y'all navigate it?
How did y'all navigate it?
You want to go first?
Are we saying how, like...
Go ahead.
Yes, what did it look like?
Will. We'll be real. It was not good. It was terrible.
It's okay. Were you guys able to have like communication about it, or that's when the therapist situation came in?
Yes, we both struggled. A whole therapist struggled, marriage and family therapist at that, struggled with communication in those earlier phases of pursuing school and our degrees. It was almost like a tit for tat. Like, you don't got as much work as I do. I'm doing all of this over here. We just were not prepared for what that looked like.
Did it look like competition between y'all?
Yes, I would say so.
And everybody
say competition.
Yeah.
And everybody keeping score.
Everybody is keeping score. If I come to you with the feeling, you know, I'm feeling this way. Well, you made me feel this way the other day, and so it was just it was a lot of back and forth. I would say around the same time, I was heavily desiring children.
Go ahead and complicate it.
Heavy on the head.
Look, let's go ahead and get into this conversation. This is what I was waiting on.
It was, everybody around us is having kids. It was bad. It was really, really tough. I would say from about we got married in 2015. I would say 2017 until about right around the pandemic. The pandemic was actually a amazing blessing for us because it allowed us to slow down.
Got it.
They could not attend classes in person, so he had to attend virtually at home.
Got back to the base.
School, the school I was working at, we were completely online. So we were at home. And we had a lot more flexibility and time to reconnect. When I say, I know that time frame was very tumultuous and not great for a lot of people, but for us, I think it was very transformative.
Let me say this, because I know our audience would want to know this. What advice would you guys give someone? And not that everybody will be pursuing doctor, but it's people that are busy. You got entrepreneurs, you got different stuff going on. I think it's very unique how you guys got through it. What advice, and I want both of you to take it. I want you to go first, Chris, and just tell husband, this is my advice to you. Like, if this was going on, this is what I advise you, because hindsight, y'all have gotten through some things. And I would just love for you guys just to advise and just give them advice of what they could possibly do in the same situation that y'all are in. Or we're in.
Okay. So the advice I would give to husbands, if you're on this journey with your wife and you see how difficult it is, I would say this is the moment where you have to. It's not even a suggestion. You have to go to God and get that wisdom and that clarity, because at this point you realize that it's out of your hands. A lot of what's happening, like, you can't control the circumstances, the environment, people, places, events. You're just really literally just walking through. Only He has dominion over that. So that's when you really need to go and seek Him, because He's going to, number one, give you the strength to endure it. And then secondly, He'll give you the wisdom and know-how to navigate the spaces, especially when you have others attached to you. So that's really what I did and continue to do. Because even now, like, it really shows you how dependent on Him you really are. So it was nothing in my own will, my own might, my strength, understanding, none of that. And it's not from a lack of trying. I tried. But every time that happened, I fell short and was reminded that, okay, this is really not about me. This is about Him. So He's the one who really kind of give me that guidance and instruction on how to go forth and blaze a new trail. And at the same time, be there for my wife, for family, things of that nature.
Absolutely. And Erica, I have to say this before you say it. I echo strongly what you say. Every man I come in contact with, the kids lean on the women lean on the husband lean on God. It has to be that way, because men, we carry a lot. And to Chris's point, we have to go ahead and give it to Him. So I really appreciate you making that point, because I spent my wheels like you did, and we just don't have what it takes.
So that was good.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Brittney, what about you?
What advice would you give, Brittney, to that mother? She's trying to balance everything, and she's trying to be seen. She's trying to do her own thing.
Yeah, absolutely. My advice, ladies, have a sense of self-worth, because this process can make you question, your identity, who you are, what you are meant to pursue. A lot of women try to discover themselves or find themselves in a man. And if that is your posture, you're going to struggle, especially if the man is still trying to find himself. The other thing I will add to this is, as a therapist, it was highly important to have a therapist. We secured a marriage and family therapist for us after our firstborn came, because that was a huge shift. And then having one for myself. Having someone that I can talk to who could bring awareness to where I was falling short, to who I really was, and where some of the negative patterns were coming from, childhood trauma, the need to be validated, like just a lot of things that I struggled with, because I always was in this support role. My support for Chris didn't start with him. I've always been in a support role from childhood. I've never had people to really show up and support me. And so really trying to understand, like, Lord, why am I consistently being put in this position? Having someone to be able to talk me through that and explore how that is actually a superpower, how it can be something that will actually push me and further me into, where God is calling me, which is literally where he has me now. I talk to people all day and support people all day long. But definitely having a sense of self-worth, who you are, and where you want to go outside of being a wife or being a mom.
I love that.
And definitely the therapy piece.
Absolutely.
Because I just think it's so important that couples understand that, you have to give each other grace and spaces. And like you said, you were candid, Brittney. You was like, look, I ain't signed up for this. But it goes to show you that's what happened in marriages. Things will happen that we didn't sign up for. But we've made that commitment. So how do we lock in for the ride? How do we make this really do what it needs to do? So I want to kind of backtrack a little bit and ask you guys about something you all talked about to help the couples that struggle in this space. What role does teamwork, what role did teamwork play in your household? And how did you guys get to that space where y'all stopped keeping score? Like, what that process was like for you guys? Because that's a crazy space to get stuck in as a couple, keeping score.
And did you start seeing a shift when y'all started being teammates opposed to being opponents?
So I'll say this, the keeping score that's something that you inadvertently get into. It's not something that I think a lot of people may realize. So once you're in it, then that kind of just becomes like your baseline. Getting out of it requires more awareness. And then also too, and this is just for me, like what I'll do, and probably for other men too, like we'll ask ourselves, like, what's the what do we gain from, keeping score? Like, what's the outcome? Do we win? Do we lose? So if I do it like that, it kind of helps me to realize, like, it's not going to really change anything. It's not going to do any benefit. So it's been one thing that has kept our teamwork solidified. And that's actually something that we talk about this all the time. Like, our teamwork is
A1.
exemplary.
Yeah.
Good.
Amazing.
That's good. Yeah.
Especially after becoming parents.
Yes.
And to that point, to the parenting piece, I know every couple go through challenges when they become parents. It sent y'all to therapy, like it's in most people. That's smart. They go to therapy. How has that been a challenge for you guys? Like, tell us a lot about you guys parenting, the kids, the boys. Tell us about it.
Because definitely you both pursuing your careers and being in school, and you guys are trying to figure things out. Or we was keeping score, and we had to go to the therapy and get this.
Yes.
Now we're having a family, right? Now we're adding children to this equation.
Brittney wanted to have kids
I
really
know,
bad.
She had to hold on. She had to hold on.
Let me tell you. What Chris was saying, I got so much going on, I don't have time for no kids. But Brittney say, I want them kids.
It was.
Oh, I know.
And Brittany's whole thing was like, oh my God.
And then look, they had the kids, and guess what?
Now we're going to therapy. Have kids.
And I mean, okay.
Go ahead. Don't even worry about it. Go ahead. We're here now.
This is where you get rid of the trauma right here.
Because, guys, this is a real situation. Yes. We had a wife who wanted a baby and a husband who was
in the mix of everything that's going on.
A husband in pursuit to be a doctor. This is real life.
And so this, I think, where it comes in, where like, okay, like as the men, okay, like we're going to be in this leadership role, then we have to take account for that. So not saying like, having kids is a beautiful thing, but you have to take account for that.
Right.
So with everything going on, how does that fit in? So like, yes, they're beautiful, they're bubbly, but they're expensive.
Absolutely.
Yes, like, they can, very much so. So, they do a lot of cooing, but you also got to pay for daycare. And you also have to pay for diapers.
And we'll have big mamas how we used to have back then.
No, we don't have that really. So,
but Chris, let's be real. They start taking away from your personal time too. They become the focal point, and that could be the biggest issue.
Let me tell you a very quick story, because we talked about this earlier. Okay, so everything was kind of tumultuous. The pandemic happened. Tumultuous. We both in school, tit for tat was happening. The pandemic brought us back together. I wanted a baby bad. You
wanted one like yesterday.
Yes. That was literally one of the reasons why I wanted to get married. Very Cinderella-ish. But the baby
Women
comes
so crazy.
Like looking back on it, I'm like, bro, what is wrong with you? And he gets so aggravated. He's like, you couldn't have had this revelation 4 years ago. But I'm
giving you an air fist bump over there.
We're here now. The baby comes and throws us back into a loop. But our son was born a week before Chris had to take a major exam on his pathway to becoming a doctor.
God has a sense of humor. We all know that.
And so I would the few weeks leading up to the exam, like I'm tired carrying the child. He's trying to study, but because his mind is mentally preparing for becoming a father,
that's overwhelming.
It's a lot. So he unfortunately did not pass that exam. And is that the one that had you redo second year? We've come up against a lot of challenges. Not passing a few different exams that he had to take along the way. He had to retake his entire second year, because you have to pass that test. You can do all the stuff you're supposed to do the whole second year, but if you don't pass that test, you have to redo the whole year. And so I felt terrible. I don't think I've ever I don't think we've ever talked about this. Like, we just kept on moving. He grieved and he redid second year and, got through that. But I felt so guilty because I was like, ooh, girl, like he's going to blame you for this for the rest of y'all lives.
Oh, goodness.
And so therapy had to happen because of that, and because once the baby came and I had been, I think, I had not graduated, but I'd gone through so many years of my program, my mental around parenting was shifting. We ain't beating these kids.
Because you sitting here reading this foolishness.
Listen, I'm looking at child development information and like just all this stuff. And then you become a mom and you're like, this is the cutest little thing in the world. I can't hit you. But we realized we differed on parenting.
Chris want to hit him.
I am not saying that.
No. Well, let me say this.
But
I spanked all of my kids.
That's all right.
It is necessary.
That's all right. But I will say this. He's very traditional.
Yes.
He's from Jessup, Georgia, from down south.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they don't play.
They get the switches off some trees.
Listen, and
don't pick a small one.
And I came from a very similar background, but just having had a bit more experience with different, different types of families and different people. And then, of course, my education. So we started to bump heads on parenting. You know, certain
that's
stuff.
Important.
Right. Certain stuff that a 2-year-old is doing. I'm just like, that's just normal development. Let's cultivate. Chris is like, we can't have him think he can manipulate us. It's like he's two.
Chris.
He's two. And so that was a huge thing that we had to deal with.
How do you guys work through that? Because that's good. We got to stop there because the parenting piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
it
you know
has
what, Margo?
marriages on the brinks.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that I'm loving seeing. When you stick to it and stay with it,
you get
it works out. Too many people quit.
They quit, but
Stick
then
with
you're in
it.
a worse situation. Like how do you still got a parent? The
Yes,
baby's here.
yes.
But now we parenting and we don't like each other. So
Right.
that adds an extra layer. For us, we immediately went to therapy. Immediately. We talked about it. The other thing was Chris got his own therapist around this time as well. He started working
That's
with a
very
black
important.
male therapist.
Good.
We had to have a therapist. We interviewed the therapist because it was important that we both connected.
Absolutely. That's
with who
big.
was going to be guiding us. And this professional is still our therapist to this day. I need to go on her website and make an appointment for us so
Love
we
it.
can,
Amazing.
be
Yeah,
consistent.
maintenance.
But therapy was major.
Good.
And then the other thing I would say, if you want to talk about, is the vision that we had for our family and the way we set up communication regularly.
That's
around
very important.
meeting with each other.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So we basically knew, like, in order to keep going, we had to have some type of guidance. So we went back to the word, and we created a family mission statement.
Love it.
And so we would basically, whenever we would have our discussions, we would recite that statement. So that way we knew, okay, this is how we're starting off. We'll start a prayer, and then we would get into the details.
Is it something you can share with us? Because I'm all about educating. Like I had someone tell me that I should start praying for my wife, and I didn't know that, and it changed everything for me. So I'm all about giving information. If you mind, do you mind sharing what it is that y'all?
I'll be unstumbled over the words.
Okay, all right, but just the gist of it.
It's a vision statement.
Okay.
That is rooted in scripture. Go ahead. I'll jump in.
So our mission statement is to be perfectly united in mind, thought, and purpose, and to make every effort to do at least the peace with and mutual edification of one another. We'll fix our thoughts on things that are pure, admirable, lovely, true, worthy of praise, honorable, and right, and be examples for our children and generations after, and follow in the footsteps God has set before us. Even in turmoil, we'll strive to remain in perfect peace by keeping our minds on God and stay holy because He's holy.
I love it.
And you know what? And fellas, I'm gonna say that this is what leadership looks like.
As you can see, he knows it.
So that's my gift.
That's what I'm saying. This is what leadership look like.
I love that. I love
And
Chris,
each part
I'm
is
over here
literally
smiling, but I'm so like to see you recite that, see you guys together recite that. That's big.
Each
that's
part
huge.
is literally scripture. So, fix our thoughts on things that are pure, admirable, lovely, true, worthy, and that's biblical.
Absolutely.
And really, guys, me and Margo, we get excited because we coach couples. So this is what we love to see.
Yes.
This is because I realize now, Chris, I'm that older uncle now. I'm the one that have to give advice. So I'm out with Chris. I'm like, I'm that old guy. I'm sitting there with Chris. I'm tearing up. I'm that old uncle now.
Hey, I'm
that old guy.
But can I say, like, we need that in the. We're 11 years in September, and couples who started out with us got married the same year as us, have not made it.
Yep.
We have consistently tried to connect with couples and cultivate those relationships. It has been such a challenge. We still have not A1.
You know what I can say though? Advice to that is sometimes when you get healed and where you at, God is gonna start sending the right couples now. Because where y'all was, you probably weren't even ready for what you thought you wanted. And God have a way of protecting us from ourselves.
And you know what, Antonio, you so right about that, because that's something that we've experienced in our marriage too. And Antonio and I have always loved couples. Like from the very beginning, we was was just laughing not too long ago. I had got an old memory on Facebook. Some couples we
Don't
thought
you just
was
hate
doing
them Facebook memories?
Listen, we thought we was doing a couples retreat. This was about like 9 years ago. And we all standing on the side of the 15-passenger truck with our friend group, taking pictures with the couples retreat sign and all the things. So we've always loved love. We've always loved couples. And so just being in this space, and like Antonio was saying, talking to the couples that we talk to, and then just seeing, you know, you guys with your family and how you guys stay in it. Because that's a lot of the times what happened. And that's why we built this platform, because we want families and our communities to understand, listen, marriage and relationship is not easy, but if you stick with it, if you put God first, if you just stick through the doctoral program, if you just stick through the pandemic, some things can happen.
Come on, you better with a word.
And Margo, you right, but it's something else that you guys are so unique. And I really want, if you guys don't mind sharing, you guys had kids, and you guys have younger kids, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. You also have, and I'm gonna use the word challenge loosely.
That's right.
I would love for you guys to discuss, like, when you had kids and the challenge that you had, even with one of your sons, and how y'all navigated that. When I tell you, you guys are the definition of a power couple.
Oh, wow.
When people talk about power couple, this is what it really is. A power couple get through things together. And I don't ever want y'all to not miss that moment. I want y'all to stay in that moment and know that y'all are the exception. So please talk to us about that challenge and how y'all navigated that.
So I'll be honest, like when we had kids, that wrecked me. It was so hard because I was already basically running on fumes. And so when the child came, I had to realize, okay, I have to now completely switch modes, switch gears, and become a father.
Can you go a little deeper, Chris? Because let me tell you, it's never talked about what men go through with having kids. And I think this is a moment. Can you, if you can just tell what you went through, like becoming a new father, before you get into that, if you don't mind.
No problem. So I was the one that went through postpartum depression. It was like all the hallmarks. Like my mood may not have been down, but I was extremely irritable. I was barely eating. It was hard to sleep just because of the baby and Justin. It was hard to focus and concentrate. So I'm showing all the signs of, major depression disorder. So I went through that. And at the same time, trying to realize, how can I still be there for Brittney, because she just gave birth, so she's going to need me, going to need my assistance. And how do I be there for the new child now? So now,
and it's a new situation. How do I become a new
brand
father?
New? And so I was more disappointed in the fact that I thought becoming a father would be kind of like the fairy tale experience. Like when you see the child, your daddy instincts would just kick in, automatically. It was not. It was the total opposite. I had to learn how to become a dad. So nothing was automatic for me. And so that's where I think it was such a struggle for me. Because I thought, more things would just flow freely, but everything had to be built from the ground up. And so that's what made it a difficult transition for me. And so moving forward, I had a lot of hard knocks, and that's where that only exacerbated our issues with parenting.
Right, I can only imagine.
Because now I'm dealing with my own struggles and like, how do I adjust to parenthood and still be married, and
how do I find my footing?
So it was just, I was very unstable mentally. And so it took a lot of, this is why I talked about, like, okay, Lord, like all of this is brand new, like nothing is familiar to me. So I had to again go deeper in prayer. I'll put it like that way.
Yes. Give it all the way to him.
Because like he was not playing when he says, like, bring all of your cares to me. I was literally doing that because I'm like, I don't know what to do here. Because anytime I tried to do something, it would make matters worse. And so that's when, the idea of therapy for myself came into play. And then also too, like giving myself some grace, like, my thought was that I had to basically kind of come into it smoothly. And then, like I said, like my fatherhood instincts would, kick in. So I'm sitting around waiting for it,
I'm struggling.
Like any day now, it's going to come. But it did not. And so that's when once I realized that's not how it worked.
That's good.
It changed my mentality.
I'm glad you shared that, because you know what? Chris, I could be honest, and I've heard of it happening, but you're the first man that I've sat with that has been transparent about having that kind of experience, because you don't hear people openly talk about it. And so we definitely don't take it lightly, and we definitely appreciate you sharing that, because I think that will help a lot of men just understand I'm not alone. You know, the emotions that I'm experiencing, because I could imagine, you know, like you were saying, I was waiting on the instincts. Like I'm sitting here like, all right, you know what's happening, but just to hear someone really just verbally really just say, hey, listen, I really struggled with this, and it's really happened to me. So listen, for anyone who's listening, you know, if you're facing an issue where you're experiencing that, it's real, and don't feel ashamed about it. Don't feel like as if you can't speak about it.
Absolutely.
Go get help so that you connect with, so you can just connect with your emotions and your feelings. And so, Brittney, I want to ask you this. How has raising a child with autism impacted your marriage, your parenting approach, and the way you support one another as a team in your marriage? How has that been for you both?
Yeah, wow. It's definitely been a journey.
Okay.
Benjamin came 20 months after CJ. Christopher Jr. came January 2021. And on the week after his first birthday, I found out I was pregnant again. So that was not expected or planned.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, God opened the floodgates.
Yeah,
Ask for the blessing, he just send it all down.
You want a baby, you have to.
Here you go.
Abundantly.
Abundant, exceeding abundant. And so Benjamin comes October 2023. Everything, you know, fairly normal. We had some complications through my birthing experience, but nothing that would have made us think that he would have been diagnosed with autism. We are at about 9 months old, and he just suddenly stops babbling. Like he was developing normally, and then all of a sudden he's saying nothing. We get to about 12 months, and the pediatrician is like, okay, you know, you all might want to consider getting him screened. I'm like, nope. Whole therapist. I support students who have autism, parents who are parenting children who are autistic. And I was just like, no, we're not diagnosing my child. I was very adamant about that, because I do have a personal belief that sometimes our children are overly diagnosed or misdiagnosed.
That is good.
And so I was just very precautious around that. But after a while, he really needed some supports. We started with speech therapy, and we were able to do that without a diagnosis. But eventually it was like, okay, in these social settings, he's struggling. Like he's not like aggressive, but he very much so is withdrawn. He cried a lot. It was a lot. And it was like, for me, and I don't know if you feel this way, but for me, I felt like I was the only person who can support him. Nobody else is like, you're not doing it right. Don't touch him.
That's your baby.
That's mine.
And that's protecting your mommy.
And so parenting even shifted more. So we were able to get the diagnosis, thank God, because that takes forever. For people who suspect that your children may have some delays, please put them on a waiting list. Waiting list can take up to 3-4 years.
Wow.
And kids need the diagnosis to receive the support. Yes. Wow. And there's a greater level of support once the diagnosis is in versus like maybe you trying to do it on your own and pay out of pocket like we were.
Right.
Some people will not give the support if there's not an autism diagnosis or some other developmental delay.
That's
so please,
great to know.
So that was my lesson. Get them on a list, because it can take a while. But for me, parenting shifted a bit more because, again, my profession, I do have a bit more knowledge and awareness of, you know, why is he throwing stuff and screaming, or why is he, you know, not communicating, or like doing different things. And I had to protect that.
Yes.
You know, if you cannot basically be nice. Because don't treat him like he's just like somebody else over here.
Absolutely.
Because
so.
He's not. He can't understand. We can talk to him. He doesn't understand. In the beginning, he didn't understand what we were saying. He's progressed a lot. He's still not speaking. He still babbles. He started back babbling once he got into speech therapy. And so some of those babbles have turned into words, but they're not conversational. So there's progress, thank God. But he can't tell us if somebody's hurting him. He can't tell us, you know, what he wants unless he's using gestures. So we have a long journey ahead. But what I will say, and this even happened after CJ was born, with the adjustment to parenting, I grieved what I thought my parenting journey was going to be. It wasn't like the baby coming home from the hospital and we're just also like, oh, we have kids frolicking through the fields.
Right.
It was such a grave adjustment that it kind of ruined it for me in the beginning. And we had to relearn all the things, and just having a child who was diagnosed with autism, you're now grieving your expectations for that child. I thought about that this morning. I was like, well, CJ, you know, I fully expect him to grow up, get married, and have kids. What about Benjamin? You know, like, what does that look like? Is that a possibility for him? And so that would be my take and my experience. What about you, babe?
Yeah, definitely. I can say that from a father standpoint, like how you said, like, you would protect him, like, it looks different for us because, you know, we have a different type of protection.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so our services are kind of like out of bounds here. So it made me kind of feel like, how do I fit into this? You know, what can I do for him?
Right.
And so when I would watch Brittney with Benjamin, I'm like, okay, like, maybe, and it's me, I'm like, maybe it's just, you know, that motherly instinct. She kind of just know what to do.
Right.
But me on the outside looking in, it's like I had to figure it out.
Right.
Get instruction. And I've gotten a little bit better with that, but even still, like, I still struggle with that.
Yeah. I would say, and I'm sorry, Margo, I would say this: continue to give yourself grace, because it's nature what she's doing, and I'm confident that you will find what you need, because sometimes maybe he don't need your support as much now. But guess what, though?
Later.
Keep living. Keep living, because we went through the same thing with our kid, and he's not going to be any different. It's going to be a time where he's going to lean more on you than the mom. So it just, y'all have figured this team thing out, and I love it.
Well, I want to just say thank you so much for sharing your experiences as parents, because this is definitely something that we definitely wanted to talk about on our platform, because couples deal with this in real time, and a lot of people are afraid to talk about it. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, but it needs to be talked about, because we need our families to understand that there is support. You know, even though you emotionally go through the challenges, like, you know, Brittney, you were sharing that, you know, you think about CJ and then you think about Benjamin, and that's real conversation that happens in real time. But just to understand that you're not alone, and to understand that there are support and spaces where you can connect with parents who have experienced the same thing that you're experiencing. And so I agree, Chris, with what Tonio was saying. Boys, they love their moms. That's just what it is, and especially when they're younger. But I promise you, as he get older, he's going to be leaning a lot more on you for certain things, and trust me, you're going to lean right back in and do and give him all the things that he need when it's time. So don't worry about that. But we definitely appreciate you sharing that with our community, because it's important.
Absolutely.
It's important. And so I want to ask this, when you have a child with autism, how is it for you as parents to make sure, you know, because that child gets, you know, the attention, but to make sure that CJ is getting his time as well? How do you all balance that as parents?
CJ ain't gonna get left out. CJ, make sure CJ don't get left out.
Okay, CJ,
but you know what?
I know how to get what I need.
But guess what, though? That is actually a blessing. It's a good thing. He's a kid that's not withdrawing. So that is good.
So he has, interestingly enough, CJ has Chris's face and my personality. Benjamin has my face and Chris's personality.
That sounds all right. That sounds all right.
So yeah, he's very much so engaged. He's the people's kid. He goes into a classroom and everyone, hey, CJ. So he's not going to ever be left out. But what I think has been most beautiful is that he's embraced his brother. He's very protective of his brother.
Question.
Nobody has positioned him as like, hey, you have to, you know, we haven't explained to him, you know, that Benjamin has autism. CJ is extremely intelligent, so he would understand to some capacity what that means. But he caught on very early. He would ask, Mommy, why is Benjamin not talking? He's still a baby. And so I would just explain, no, he's not a baby. He's, you know, a little kid like you. He's just learning. He's learning and he's growing.
That's
and so
amazing.
he will internalize that and he will help him. So a couple of things. we spend time with them individually as much as
good.
possible.
That's very good.
Because Benjamin does get specifically a lot of time with me going to appointments and things of that nature. I will make sure that I spend time with CJ as much as I can. So whether it's homework help, he loves doing his homework, but he loves having help with that. Or if it's, playing with him for a few minutes before I might have to jump in a session, we'll do something like that. Great. The other part is I will, if he's allowed, I will bring him into the things that we're doing with Benjamin.
Good.
So reading, he can read. So he reads books, aloud.
Good.
And if Benjamin will sit still long enough to attend, like he will read to all of us together.
Good.
So I think that's, some of where that fits in.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And I will say, for just going back to the question, like, how does CJ still get his time? Like, it's now, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but now
he up under him.
The switch has it's been a shift now. And now he's coming to me a lot more, and he's my shadow now, my little buddy. So it's not something that I forced. It just started to transition on his own, and now he just every time he comes, he just runs with his big smile, daddy, and he
Benjamin gonna be there.
And this what I can tell you is being a father of adult kids now. Look at it, your athlete is in quarters. Look at being a father as in quarters. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and realize where you at with it.
Yes.
Because, man, you have to get your mojo in that first quarter. But by the time we come out of halftime, we done been through some things with our son. Now, and as he continue to grow, it's going to be another shift when he become a teenager. And then when he become a young adult. So just like you stayed in this, stay in it. It keeps getting better and better and keep working out.
Guys, I love this. This was a great
We're proud of y'all.
Conversation. Yes. And for anything, we are extremely proud of you both.
Yes.
Thank you so
keep
much.
going, keep building, keep going. We appreciate you guys coming on our platform and just being real and authentic and sharing. Guys, listen, marriage is work.
Yes.
We're sitting with the Jacksons, and they have shared their journey with us. We're talking about doctor program.
Yes.
College for years, wife supporting. She's putting her things on hold. We're both in college together. We try to figure it out.
I'm going to make him have a baby, too, while we doing all this.
Make him have a baby. I ain't ready for a baby yet. And all the things. But what I love the most about y'all's story is y'all fought for it.
Yeah.
Kept choosing
Y'all went
each
to
other.
therapy. Y'all kept choosing each other. No matter how things kept showing up, no matter how many setbacks that happened with your doctorate program, you guys stayed in the fight, and that's what we honor and we're excited about the most.
And guys, we got to have a part two, because there's a part of the success that you guys are going to start to deal with now.
Yeah.
So when we call you guys back, we're going to have a whole different conversation because success costs.
It does.
So I can't wait to hear about the success and what it costs you guys, and when we have part two.
You mean we not done?
No, baby.
Oh no,
listen,
you're just getting started.
Baby, y'all just on the runway.
Oh, God.
Y'all, they just got the engine going. Y'all haven't even taken off yet. It's
You just been cleared to fly.
That's it. Y'all cleared to fly. But guess what? Y'all cleared. And I'm excited about it.
Absolutely.
I love love. I love what you guys have going on.
Yes.
And listen, we enjoyed our conversation this evening with the Jacksons. So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight on the Love Rekindle Show, where real conversations meet real healing, and where love is not just renewed but reborn.
Yes.
Remember this: strong relationships aren't built in grand moments, but in daily choices. Choosing grace, choosing growth, and choosing each other. A special thank you to our amazing sponsor, Platinum Luxury Fleet. If you are in need of luxury black car service worldwide, visit PlatinumLuxuryFleet.com. For all your transportation needs, professionalism, style, and comfort, schedule your services with them today. This show is also sponsored by M5 and Associates, a team of licensed financial professionals committed to changing the financial trajectory of our communities through education, empowerment, and financial literacy. Their mission is to equip individuals and families with the knowledge, tools, and strategies needed to achieve financial independence and build lasting wealth. To learn more, visit m5andassociates.com. Until next time, keep loving, keep growing, and keep rekindling what matters the most. Thanks for tuning in. See you all next time.
See you guys next time.
Thank you.